On behalf of our organization and the Desmond Tutu Peace Center trustees, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to you all. A special warm welcome to our panelists who will be introduced by John Maytham. We are grateful that they too were able to see the importance of this debate and commit to come and share their insight and perspective.
That's Dr. Mamphela Ramphele, that's Advocate Dumisa Ntsebeza, that's Professor Heinke Krog.
The impact of the wounds of colonialism were not dealt with. We had a political settlement, but we didn't deal with the psychosocial pain.
The TRC was trying to address what was, as I indicated, gross violations of human rights.
A moment has slipped through the hands of the government. There was a time after 1994 when whites were more than willing, and those who weren't left, but there was a preparedness and a willingness to do something.
There needs to be an economic TRC. We had an emotional TRC, what it was worth. We now need the reality. The reality is to address the haves and the have-nots.
Whilst I agree with Advocate Ntsebeza about the need to heal the gap between the haves and the have-nots, sadly, those gaps, or that gap, will not be closed.
There has to be also a preparedness by those who own land and capital to share.
The woundedness I'm talking about is not fiction. This is real. And whether you're looking at the university level or the judicial system, the business sector, those farmers or farm people who were given farms and there was no plan, they couldn't farm. It's not because the farm workers didn't know how to farm. The people running the department that does the land don't know how to manage that system.
Structural inequalities were left unscathed. And the question is whether the TRC was the instrument of addressing structural inequalities. It wasn't.
There was no plan to how to use the Truth Commission as leverage to say, okay, here you hear all of this, we want you to do A, B, and C. If you don't, leave. You know, that there is an engagement with us. What you have now is what Mamphela said, you have people who are wounded, who don't want to use us.
If we all strived to adhere to these founding provisions of what our nation seeks to be, then we are approaching what can be the rainbow nation that we want.
I'm afraid I cannot see any rainbow when children's futures are systematically damaged by teachers who just don't care, citizens who just don't care enough to hold those teachers accountable, and a government that is either afraid of the teachers or unable to rein them in. And so, collectively sitting in this room, we are systematically preventing those 8-year-olds to being part of a prosperous, democracy with their dignity, as the Constitution says, can be respected.
As devastating as that is, what Mamphela has said, it gives none of us here the right to say it's the government and the ministers it's their fault and it's their responsibility. It's all of us will go down the drain with them.
I think peace, as has always been said, is not the absence of war. All of us, as the Archbishop usually says, must play our role in being the voices of the voiceless, in taking care of the marginalized, and making sure that we protect the weak. And we can't do that if we do not take our role in society and standing for our rights.